Greetings, my friends. It's Andrea here. I would like to talk about the eventful month of July. We do have an exciting time ahead, I would say. First of all, we do have some decrease in speed because we do have planets that are retrograde, and these are Pluto, Saturn and Neptune. Neptune was the last one which transitioned into retrograde motion on June 30th. And this in general will slow down the pace, yes, at a global market level. But we do expect some volatility, especially in the cryptocurrency and currency arena, due to the square between Uranus and Venus, which will be exact on the 2nd of July, and this can bring a sudden events and developments regarding currencies and cryptocurrencies, which will really cause high volatility. On top of that, on July 3rd, we do have the full moon in Capricorn on the BTC chart, which is relevant because it's related to the Sun natal position in the tropical zodiac, and we do have the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, which is a revisit of the events that happened early March 2023, which were pretty turbulent, if you recall. Then we do have on the 10th of July another important event, Mars transitioning into Virgo, and it's important because on the 28th Mercury will join there as well in Virgo. So Mars and Mercury together, especially towards the end of the month, despite of the fact that Venus will be retrograde from the 23rd, will bring some dynamics in the price development for cryptocurrencies and currencies in general. We do have the 17th of July as an important point, the new moon in Cancer, that can bring news on the real estate market in general, and it will also be relevant for Bitcoin, and this will be basically in the mid of the month a transition period. Because on the 12th, so this was 5 days before, we have one of the most important events in the last 2-3 years, because yes, it's like roughly 2 years of the nodes. Actually, it's the transitioning of the North Node from Taurus, which is the sign of the financial system, into the tropical Aries. And in sidereal it's still Aries, so we had that already, but why is this so relevant? It's because of the fact that now Uranus will be left alone in Taurus to revolutionize in a more orderly manner the financial system and to renew it. Thank you for your attention. My dear friends, it's Andrea here. Greetings from Berlin. I filmed this today on June 17th when Saturn really went retrograde. So let's talk about Saturn retrograde, and yes, it rained today in the first half of the day in Berlin. I would like to tell you about the nakshatra of Shatabhishak that I mentioned also previously. We do have Saturn retrograde in this second part of the nakshatra, which has the vibration of Capricorn. So Saturn is very strong. It's a lot of focus on things that have been decided in the last 3-4 months from March, when Saturn really entered Pisces in the tropical zodiac. So it will retrograde 7 degrees backwards, almost to 0 degrees of Pisces. Saturn will revisit basically things related to regulation, to hierarchy, to top-down decision making that has been also put in motion in the last month. So they will be reshaped, revisited and restructured. So we can really see a slowdown in a way, but then we will see also an acceleration. Why? Because Saturn will cross also the first pada of Shatabishak, which is linked to another topic, which is basically Jupiter. That is about optimism, it's about expansion, and it is a flavor of Saturn that would bring more optimism in the markets. If we think about the last days in April, after the 20th of April 2023, we experienced some, overblown optimism. Of course, there were other influences as well. So we will have a retrograde period of 7 degrees again. So this means that some patterns on some coins at least will repeat again. And this will happen until the 4th of November. We will divide the interval basically from now, 17th of June, until August 22nd. That would be more pessimistic in nature. And then from August 22nd to November 4th, that would be more optimistic in nature. So it will be a retraction of things, and then expansion of it. That would be about Saturn. So let's continue with other influences. See my other videos and the continuation of this longer one. Thank you. Hello my dear friends, it's Andrea here with an update on Venus retrograde, which will start on July 23rd, and it will last until September 4th. Venus is associated to monetary value, currency, cryptocurrency, but also in general with things of value, with art, with the beautiful things in our life. And we will revise values, and values will be also revised by authorities, governments and decision makers, because Venus will go retrograde in the tropical sign of Leo, which is associated to royals, to governments and people in position of power. Now, matters that have been put in motion in the last months will be revisited, and this is also correlated with Saturn. If you saw the other video, it's this theme of business cycles, of revision, of regulation in regards to monetary value. We do have a long retrograde, as mentioned. Venus will track back 16 degrees, and this is roughly half of a sign, so it's quite a long period. And this means that things will get revisited, yes, in regards to these topics. If we dive a deeper, so to speak, we think about the sidereal constellations behind this, and Maga and Ashlesha are the ones traversed. We do have Maga, which is really linked to government and to decision power, and this would be relevant especially from July 23rd until August 7th. And also in the first part of October we will come up with details as the time approaches. While Ashlesha is linked to various substances, to pharmaceuticals, so regulation can also come in that regard, and in general also to gemstones. So jewelry again would be a domain that could be in high focus. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you a successful trading period. Just be aware that Venus will not make too many aspects with Bitcoin or Doge or Solana or Ethereum, so it's a little bit of silence in this regard. We might see more silence in the markets. Hello my friends, I'm Andrea, and I would like to talk to you today about an important transit which happens in the mid of July, more exactly on the 12th of July, Rahu, the north node of the moon, will switch into Aries, and Ketu, the south node of the moon, will switch into Libra. We had 19 months roughly of Rahu and Ketu in the axis Taurus-Scorpio, and always where the nodes are, the eclipses take place. So we have noticed a lot of transformation, turmoil, but also confusion and speed at the same time in the financial system in the last years. So banking, currency, these cryptocurrencies which appeared especially in the last years were really a trigger for innovation, but also a spark of the planetary energy between Uranus and Rahu. And yes, it really brought a lot of cryptocurrencies, but I think this will slow down because now we will have Rahu transiting out of Aries. So what can we expect in Aries? Aries is a sign about new beginnings, about entrepreneurs, courage, and it will be a lot of creativity, I think, a lot of independence, and it's the break of a new cycle of the nodes and of the eclipses as well, because in October we will have the first set of eclipses on the Aries-Libra axis. Now, what can we consider from a sidereal perspective? From a sidereal perspective, we do have already Rahu in Aries activated, and we could notice some things, and I would like to point your attention on the developments with NFTs and Bitcoin, the BTC ordinals, and the fact that we had Ketu in Libra, so to speak, yes, in the sidereal zodiac, and this is the foundation of Bitcoin. So it's the fourth house of astrology using the whole sign system, and this means that the foundation was reshaped, and it started to be reshaped because this process will continue in the next 19 months. So from a sidereal perspective, I see this transit as very important until the 28th of August, when we do have this pada, the second pada of the Ashwini Nakshatra, strongly activated for enhancing this energy about money, about financial system. So we expect important developments through the summer here. Why? Because this pada has the energy of Taurus, which is again is linked to market, to value, to finance, and to banking. And this area will be innovated and developed further in the next month. Now, Aries is also the 10th house of the BTC chart. So this is the image of Bitcoin in the society and how it's regarded. And this will change as well. So I would say that this already started with the NFTs. So we will start to see practical value, but still linked to art, because it's Libra, so it's about art, it's about Venus, creativity. But it will not be merely a store of value for a win-win situation like we see Libra. So this will be reshaped in time. We will come up later with further updates on this important transit. It's a long one for 19 months roughly, and eclipses will be very strongly linked to it. Thank you so much for your attention, and have a lucky Rahu in Aries. Thank you so much for your attention, for liking and subscribing, and until next time, be joyful.